Welcome, Field Home Farm Sessions, episode 328 on April 29th. I didn't know it's been so long since I did one before, but welcome to all my listeners. What did they say? Episode 328, April 29th, 2026. I logged on yesterday to my Podbean account. Oh, KJ's on. So I logged on. I was just saying, KJ, I logged onto my Podbean account yesterday, and there was. Guess where our listener was from? Oh, Italy. I had a listener from Italy, France, Spain, Thailand, Brazil, Germany, and Italy. Oh, Thailand, Kevin. I wonder if it's his nephews or he's spreading the word around. And then I looked today because just curiously looked. Germany, Brazil, Canada, Thailand, and Spain. Germany's listening the most. They must like my material from Southern Ontario, Canada, hour and a half north of Toronto. Talking about farming, chicken farming, being on the chicken board, just different things in Ontario, 4-H, hockey, girls dance. That's kids dance, not like Mystery likes or we used to like back in the day. We're talking about kids dancing and ballet and tap and all that stuff. My son's soccer's done for the year, finally, thank goodness. Talk a bit about my different downloads. I was on Podbean and they said May 18th. Oh, Mystery's on. Mystery, you get right to the top of the list. How do you guys know to log on at 11 o'clock in the morning? usually I'm at 8:30, but I got behind. Just different things were going on, and my daughter didn't feed her calves. KJ, go figure. My daughter didn't feed the calf. Guess who had to do it? Gee, I don't know. It wasn't Roy that came up. It was the dad, and my wife's done it a few times too. So my daughters and their 4-H calves learn to do by doing. Well, that only means learn to do by doing when they have time, because it's yeah. Mystery, don't worry, that's going through my head. Send them back to quality. I thought about it. I said, get these frigging calves out of here, take them back, but I know Donnie's giving me a bit of feed, so it's not. He says, "Oh, you cheap bugger." I said, "Well, Donnie, I'm not like these are your calves, and unless I own them, should I be buying all the feed?" That would be the question, because they would still use that feed in quality. We are just borrowing them. That would be a my opinion podcast, but talk about the podcast for a little bit. Mystery, you missed it. I got some listeners from Germany, France, Thailand, and Italy. Oh, so lots of listeners. I don't know who this guy is or girl. QAWF. That could be Roscoe. So I was talking about Podbean. Podbean said May 18th they're stopping the live stream, and then by June 18th they're not going to do it at all. So I don't know what that means and why they're doing that. I'll have to write in. You guys can write in too, and KJ can write in and say what the heck. Like, come on. 12,500 downloads on my podcast, if you can believe that. And if I was trying to do it on a loop, I don't think I could download that many times. I remember when I confession, I used to, at the very start of my podcast, I used to play my podcasts on my online when I blog the chicken barn, and I'd have like an extra 10 downloads, and I'm like, ooh, yeah. So it looked good. Build yourself up. So, but now I can't download 12,500. So thank you very much for everybody around the world. I can say that. I don't think my Australian buddy Mal has listened too much, but I don't know why. And but welcome to Germany. Is it West or East Germany? I don't know. They still have the separation. I know they don't have the wall anymore by any means, but they still have the call it East West. So I don't know. I got to get over there to Europe one of these days. I was talking to Chicken Man Peeler, Jason Peel, the other day, and he said he's going on a cruise in a couple weeks to Europe, and I said sounds awesome. I'd love to do that one day. I go back to the podcast. So thank you for everybody listening, and my international man of Scottish Jim, he's listening. So every time it's a Briton, it's Scottish Jim and his family listening over there. Thank you very much. Playoffs. The playoffs. The Philadelphia Flyers cannot just get it done, can they, Mystery and KJ? They are struggling it out, and I seen Crosby got hurt last night. He got hit in the knee, and then I went to bed after that. So I don't know if he came back out. Who knows? But great game. It was a great game to watch. Playoffs are so finicky. One little thing. There was a goal the other night. Anaheim and Edmonton. It was an overtime. The goalie for Edmonton had his skate over part of the puck, but the puck was clearly over the line. If you like can break down the whatever. And what do you think, Mystery? But it was, and it was a goal. So, anyways, that's the things, and you can't change. Once it happens, you can talk about it forever. Like every Leafs fan that talks about everything forever. As soon as something happens, all Leafs, 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 and not this year. And Las Vegas is still in it. You know who plays for Las Vegas, Mystery? Montreal, thankfully, has lost. Sorry, all you Montreal fans. I'm pretty sure I don't have that many on the podcast, but what happened to my buddy left? Oh, what's the matter for you? What are you doing, KJ, today? What are you doing, KJ, for fun? What are you doing today, KJ, for fun? Um, so yes, Denver Barkey did get a goal the other night, which was awesome. I seen that. He's like 5'9", not much taller than you, Mystery, and he's like right in front of the net. Now, if you know hockey, these guys, the defensemen, they're like 6'2", 6'3", and you're doing and they're all in shape. They're all conditioned like crazy. And Barkey is 5'9", standing in front of the net, taking crap, taking hits, and scores a goal. So good on him. I think they still lost the game though, but you gotta contribute. It'd be good talking to him in the summer a couple times at the cottage and see what he thinks. Where is it? Roscoe, Mystery? Is that Roscoe's name? But hold on, unedit. So play NHL playoffs are in hard effect. I think the Raptors are in playoffs too, but I don't know. I don't worry about the basketball Raptors, but I'm just hockey, baseball. The Jays were coming back a little bit. Our Toronto Blue Jays were coming back. They're starting to win a couple games, and then they lost a couple games. So KJ says, deciding if I should go watch high school soccer, it's a bit damp. I know moist. AJ, AJ, KJ, you love that word moist, but yes. I was going to talk about soccer in my list of things, but I have not. Just doing the playoffs. We're getting done that. It's always interesting. My wife does not is not interested in the hockey, and luckily we have, excuse me, 3 TVs, 2 in the house, 1 in the shop. And if I really get want to watch hockey, I'll go to the shop and watch it. But then I get diddling around with other things and in the shop, and I don't end up watching that much, anyways. But um, soccer. So soccer last night, my wife signed my son up because his friend played soccer wanted to play soccer this year. They played hockey last year, and the other kid was really good at it. But as anybody with kids in sports knows, that hockey is very expensive. So this mother, they're not like well off. They whatever. So hockey, they put him in soccer. What do you need for soccer? You need shoes and shorts and a shirt, and that's about it. Like you don't need anything else. I don't even think he wears. I don't think he wears shin pads either. So they have a soccer dome in Bradford. So there you go, KJ. If your daughter played in a soccer dome, you would not. What happened to Bay? There was Bay Blundell. Oh, Dean Blundell, but should have him on Dean Blundell. So they have a soccer dome in Bradford, and it's kind of cool because in January went to watch my son. He played every other week, so he was not into it. We're telling me that he's got to play hockey next year, but we'll see what happens. Um, if you go back and listen way back my podcast, like I said, he started off really bad at hockey, and then he got the most improved player for the year, and then he stopped playing hockey. So, but he skated a couple times in the rink too. So their last game of the year was the soccer dome last night. Played with his friend, but the stupidest part about the soccer dome, it's huge, and I don't know how big it is. I know someone's going to ask me, and I don't know how big it was, but they split it into 3 parts, like a third, a third, a third, and then on the third, a third, a third, they split that into threes. So it's pretty big. But then these 9 and 10-year-old and 11-year-olds are playing on a third of the soccer, and it's just they could play on sorry, I'm not confusing everybody here, but I'll confuse Emmett. So they just play. I know they split it into a third, a third, a third. They could just play on that third, not split it down into another third. If you follow me, when they have like big events, I know it costs a lot to rent because they have to heat it up or whatever they do to what's it called, Mystery? And how many round? That my dad used to always say that we drive by the airport and he'd say, "How many square bales can you fit in that building?" Or that building would fit a lot of square bales. But now Mystery says round bales. You cannot fit as many round bales as you can fit big square bales. I know, Mister Lockie, you can maybe, but you'd have to put them on edge. It takes a lot more time. So, but I wonder how much it costs to rent the whole dome. So as the other mother was saying last night, they should have played on a third of the soccer dome because they don't get that much exercise. My son was really he was ramping up near the end. He had a couple I'm not a soccer guy. KJ knows more about this than I do probably, but it wasn't like a free kick or a penalty kick, but it was kind of like a kick. And my son took a couple of them, and the goalie stopped it, little guy, and his hands were sore as soon as he stopped it. My son's got some force behind his kicks. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what he wants to do next year. But soccer is done. And I was going to talk. Hold on, unedited. I need some moisture for my mouth. 8 kj. Dirty Bite Mystery. You just roll with that. And then so soccer's done, which is good. And so hockey is done. Like my daughter's hockey, I talked about that all year. Is the best year, the best group of parents, the best coaches, and they were. This team improved so much. Every coach that they had on the ice played somewhere like minor professional, not like an East Coast league down the States, which is still good hockey, but it's not like NHL or AHL, but one below the AHL. And one of the dads trained with Martin St. Louis too. He goes, that guy is just like a brick shithouse. He does not. He is as tough as nails. His what do they say? Center of gravity is just built like he is a rock solid guy. Go back and watch Marty St. Louis hockey. But anyways, so all these coaches were really good at that. So we do tryouts, and all of a sudden, boom, tryouts is done. Like there's no. So we drove by. So the soccer dome is right beside an arena in Bob Fallis in Bradford. No cars in the parking lot. Like it's dead. And I'm thinking they rush hockey like November, December, January, February. February is packed. I think we had 2 nights off in February. Every parent knows that. You have tournaments. KJ knows. March it winds down because then you start playoffs and play downs and provincials and all this other stuff. And next thing you know, it's April, and after tryouts, it's done. Like there's just nothing. So I don't know why they can't spread it out a little bit more and have it drag into May a bit. So I don't get it. And now the U13 girls, which we're U15 now, which is good, but U13 girls added a fifth team. So they were struggling to find ice time in Barrie and surrounding areas last year, and now they're adding another girls team. So because they added a fourth team, we had 3 teams last year, and then they added a fourth team. Because of that, we had to have every other Tuesday we had an early morning practice at 6:30 in the morning, which whatever, it's fine if you're up like Mystery and myself, but KJ likes her beauty sleep, so I don't know KJ, I'm just kidding. But I think they said they're going to have 2 early morning practices, so that really sucks for kids that want to go to school early, but I don't know. They did it. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you they're struggling to find ice time, and then they add another team. And I said to another dad, I said, why don't they put one of those Canlan arenas? KJ's played in those. There's a bunch of Canlan arenas around the Toronto area. They have 4 arenas, a Wild Wing up top, and then you can watch every rink, and they're all private rinks. And the one dad said because Barrie does not want to give away the revenue that creates. And I said that is the biggest load of horse shit because the amount of revenue they get from building it, the permits, the tax dollars they bring in from the income that they bring in, from the Wild Wing, from all the business from hotels in the area. And Barrie just wants to build like 2 arenas here and 2 arenas here and 2 arenas here. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Have 4 arenas in that area, lots of hockey, tournaments, everything else. I hate using the term, it's a no-brainer, but 1,000 listeners too. I got 1,000 listeners on my podcast too. 1,000. That's insane. And all these Germany and France and everybody else. Emmett Foster came on the podcast. Emmett Foster showed me a cow that I named Field Home Billion Bukaki. I know, Emmett didn't show it to me. I was looking Griff Giant, one of the cows that went excellent for Emmett, 93 points. I was looking back at her lineage, and one of the cows' names was Field Home Billion Bukaki. Now, if you're at Holstein Canada, you can say whatever you want about me for naming it, but for the person that approved it, Holstein Canada needs to give their head a shake too. It's like, why'd you approve it? I just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. I didn't. If you name one like fuck or shit or something like that, they're not going to register. But I don't know why they register that. And booby and a titty and a G spot and forget all the other cows. Emmett, keep going. Mystery had like abracadabra and those nice little quirky funny names, but I had the dirty shit. Slippery. I think I had a jizz too, but I think I did have a jizz. So yeah, hockey's done, and then my daughter had like a little hockey party on Saturday night with like four of her friends, and so then I went up, had a couple pops. One girl says you shouldn't drive home. I said I had 3 beers, and it was a 4.5 hour span. I'm pretty sure I could drive home. Like Mystery, you think that's okay? 3 beers, small beers, not tall boys, in 3.5 hours. Or was it 4 hours? I don't know. I wasn't keeping track, but I was fine. Getting my truck. Oh, trucks. So every 10-speed automatic, every gear junkie like this, but 10-speed automatic transmission, my mechanic says the oil has to be changed, and the transmissions are shit. So at 140,000 kilometers, as of yesterday, I took it in, 4-hour job, right up the bum. Over $1,200 to get my transmission oil changed. And you used to be able to do it yourself, but now, of course, engineers, mechanics, manufacturers don't want you doing it yourself because they lose money. They want you to take it back to the shop, but we're not taking it back to the dealership. We're taking it to a private guy. So got that done. And that's one thing I hate about used trucks is the service on them once in a while. Usually when I used to change them in, take them in every couple years, trade them in, you wouldn't have to worry about that stuff. But now the price of vehicles, you might as well just keep servicing them. So getting spring, that's enough about trucks. My wife is kind of looking after the van, and yeah, I think I better start looking after it because when she picked me up yesterday, the brakes, I'm like, the brakes maybe need a little bit of work, but who knows. KJ, I was on Facebook. There's something about 4-H. Was there a March conference, or was that like a junior farmer thing? I don't know what's going on, but 4-H is always pumping, isn't it, KJ? Spring ready, getting spring ready. One of the things you got to do for spring and when you work your own fields is get your duals on. Duals on tractors help spread out the compaction in the land. A lot of tractors nowadays are so big they have front duals and back duals. I do not have a big enough tractor to put front duals on. Mind you, it might help, but I don't know. I only have back duals. I do it myself, and I got those on. But as KJ mentioned, we got rain again today, and it is wet. It is a bit. It's not like it wasn't a ton of rain. The other night we got 1.5 inches of rain. So that kind of fucked up the land. But right now, we got a little bit of rain. It says light rain, plus 11, feels like plus 9. It's supposed to be plus 15, 16 this afternoon, and then it's going to cool down. It's going to be -1 overnight on Thursday and -1 overnight on Friday in Bradford. Can you believe that shit? Like like I said, it's okay for the chickens because they need to be cool on their way out. But after that, let's get some warmth in this world. But it's going to be plus 9 and plus 10, plus 11 on May 11th. Like, the nights are cold. So, Mystery, what do you think? I have made a decision, and whether you like it or not, or everybody has their comments about everything, everybody's got their own little farming comments. But my opinion this year is I am not putting a fucking lick of fertilizer on my soybeans this year. I'm just going to leave it. I looked at the cost. Hold on a minute. 2 years ago, I didn't look at the cost last year, but 2 years ago, I put fertilizer on my soybeans. Now, mind you, it was like 20 more acres, but it was $13,000 I put on my soybeans. Now, did I get $13,000 worth of profit? I don't know, but this year I'm sure as shit it's going to be 20,000. So take the $20,000 off your profit. Now, are you going to get double the yield with that fertilizer? I don't know. They take that off to take the spray off, take the seed off, take your land rent off, take your fuel off, take your labor off, everything else. And what do you end up with? Last couple of years, you end up with zero. That you break. You're not losing money. At least I didn't lose money, but you're breaking even. There's a lot of guys around me that they didn't get the rain in July and August, and they did not have much of a crop. So you imagine putting that much amount of fertilizer on and getting half a crop. Like that is insane. And then corn, well, you can't grow corn without fertilizer. I hate to tell you that. Like you're not going to get much of a crop. You don't put fertilizer on your corn, so you have to do that. And I put my chicken shit, which I use that. But wheat, let me look outside. The wheat looks a little bit green. Someone had a blocked run on their planter, and there's a bit of a miss in my field, right by the road. Everybody drives by and says, "Oh, Fieldhouse forgot to sow that right," and it's my organic wheat planting. I'm just taking a chance. On that note, thank you for listening all over the world. Go Flyers, go! I'd like the Flyers to win. That would be good. Like the Jays to win, like Edmonton to win. I like Montreal to lose. That would be awesome. And what do we got going on today? What do I have? I gotta get the other tractor ready. Got to get some things greased. I gotta get a PTO. I gotta read some stuff for Farm and Food Care Ontario because I gotta get that done. I got a meeting on Thursday. My first official farm food care meeting as a director. That should be interesting, and we'll see what happens. But thanks for listening, everybody. And Italy, oh, and Thailand. I hope they're, yeah, missed. I hope they're not Thailand Kevin's favorite ladyboys. Talk to you later. Thanks for listening, everybody. And shout out Hebe Jen, Thailand Kevin, Dirty Mike.